right, so as we get into things, let me first give you a brief review on part one, or my part one video. I got us into being able to project blues onto just plain vanilla 1-4-5 chord progressions by thinking in terms of the parallel. So if you're in a key of A major and it's a 1-4-5, you can throw an A minor pentatonic. I got you adding a blue note to that, and then even another note that I call blue, but it's really not. It's really just taking the major third and throwing that into a minor pentatonic scale. Then got you throwing the sharp 6, and that makes it A Dorian. So all that I think was in part one. And then part two, we got into using the A Lydian dominant scale, which is the fourth mode of the E melodic minor. And that's a great way to add color. We're starting to add jazz color, or what I call spice, to the even a blues context. I got you playing the half whole diminished. So again, if we're in a key of A, you'd play A half whole diminished scale over your like in the middle of your, say, pentatonic stuff, and it just adds more of that spice to the playing. So today we're going to explore the other diminished scale, which would be to or to project A whole half diminish. So the first one from part two, A half whole, I think of as good for over diminished chords, and it's good for over dominants. So if I'm playing A7, hear that third, okay? And that works really well over minor blues, where you're bending the third up to the major. Really, it's a major third, a major blues. That's what we do. If we're playing major blues, we'll do that little trick with the minor third to the major third. And we land there because it's major blues. So that's where that diminished works really well. Then the A Lydian dominant. Now I'm back to pentatonic. So that works really well. That was part two. Now in part three, let's talk about A whole half diminished. This is supposed to be better for minor, over minor chords. So maybe your chord progression's not major. So but I think it works really well over the blues, even the major blues still. Hear it? So that ascension was whole half, a whole half. Then I slipped into pentatonic, A pentatonic. And that's the little blue note. Did a little bit of a bend slide. I kind of covered that during part one a little bit, but I did it with the tremolo. Now you're seeing me do it without the tremolo bar. That trick is, watch this one. Or what you do is I'm descending, so I'm going to slide down and then bend up to the pitch I came from. Call that a slide bend. And do it the other way, I call it a bend slide. Let's see. There you go. So you bend first. So part one, I showed you how to do it with the tremolo. Now I'm showing you how to do it without the tremolo. Andy Timmons is a guy I saw do this after I learned it. I learned it first, and then I was like, I remember somebody doing it. I remember Andy doing it. And then I found him, so it was pretty interesting. I've had that experience multiple times where I've come up with the concept. It felt like I was on a desert island, like I invented something new. Usually, the odds are against that. And I find another guitarist doing it later on, or I remember another guitarist doing it, and that was the case with Andy. So Andy does that trick. I love Andy, great player. So we're doing a whole half diminished. I'm kind of trying to picture this G-shaped C chord, even though I'm in key of A minor, because C major is relative major. So that's a good picture for my mind, might not be for yours. Of course, E-shaped A minor, and I'm picturing scales, scale shapes with that, okay? And then over top of that, I'm trying to find, okay, where are the notes of that whole half, okay? So I know they're down here. So if my A minor pentatonic has this straight line like on the 5th position, my A whole half has a straight line on the 4th position for the first 4 strings. For the 5th and 6th, it's back to here, okay? So I kind of, there's 2 scales, and I'm projecting the latter one, the diminished one, over top of my pentatonic. So your mind, it's really a mind bender. And if I was better at graphics, I would draw up some graphics for you. I probably could, but I'm also a little lazy about it. So I'm just gonna be efficient and get these things done. So, so yeah, just doing that whole half. So next thing I want to show you is how to go to the 4 chord and this scale that you can use over that. There's the 4 chord, the D. I'm playing a D9, it could be a D7, D major triad, doesn't matter. So what I do for this is opt for an A Superlocrian. That's otherwise known as an A altered scale. It's a 7th mode of a B flat melodic minor. Does that sound great? So it's going to really transition us to that 4 chord. You hear it? Do it again. There it is again. See? So a lot of little different shapes and or sequences you can project over that. And it projects to the 4 chord. Whenever I'm going back to the 1, I'll think of the 5 chord and make that Superlocrian. So the 5 chord's E, and I'll play an E Superlocrian, which is an F melodic minor, and it's going to pull to 1. Hear it? That's a really cool trick too. I hope you're seeing that in addition to the power of the diminished scale, the modes of the melodic minor are really sweet. I got into them when I started talking about exceptions to the number system. I did a part 1 through part 3 on that, and I talked about, you know, like if there's a 6 major or there's a 3 major instead of a 3 minor or 6 minor, how you can use modes of the melodic minor. So, and they work really well. Now you're seeing them to add, how we would use them to add outside notes and to make it sound jazzy. Another thing you could be doing is just throwing in chromatic notes and not thinking about all this stuff. Not thinking like, you know, any fancy pants. Really playing with tension and just trying to land on those chord tones so that I can get some release. So if you like the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more coming, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.